on behalf of my husband and I. No, it's not. I'd like to say just a big thank you. It's not very often in life you have all of your favourite people in one room. So thank you for coming and for being one of those people and for making this my best day ever. Thank you. Can you all hear me? All right? Yeah. So Patrick is going to do the rest of the thank yous because, you know, I'm a very emotional person and I can't handle it. So he's going to do that. So I'm just going to talk about me and him. And I'm going to start by talking about myself as a teenager so you can see where I've come from to get to today, you know, love-wise. So to do that, what I thought I'd do is I would ask a few of those people that were with me to give me just one word to describe me as a teenager. So I asked my best friend Alana, my two brothers and my sister, quite a while ago. Alana said the word amazing, and you'd think, oh, that's really sweet, but it wasn't the word amazing, it was how I used to say amazing. Everything was, oh, amazing. Oh, that's so amazing. Everything, or brilliant. So Natalie and Ryan, both separately, without conferring, both said the same thing. Wasn't one word, it was two words. Jim Carrey. Because I used to do incessant Jim Carrey impressions. So if I wasn't going, amazing, I was going, well, alrighty then. Or P-A-R-T-Y, because I gotta. Or Dad's favorite, a Tommy gun. And Craig, loving brother that he is, straight away said psoriasis. Because for those of you who don't know, I have an extremely itchy skin condition, which as a teenager can be very affecting. So I remember my mum, she'd have to put this like stinky clay stuff on my head before I'd go to bed, and I ruined so many pillowcases I have to sleep on a pillow, on a towel, and then in the morning it would take about 3 washes to get the stink out of my head. Lovely. So anyway, so you've got that. And as well as all of that going on, I was desperate for a boyfriend. Couldn't for the life of me think of why no one fancied me. Desperate to be in love, and thank God I had Alana during that time, otherwise it would have been wholly depressing. I remember we went to Scotland on holiday with her family, and on that holiday we discovered The Bourne Identity, the most romantic film I know. And we got to that bit in the movie where Matt Damon was washing the leading lady's hair with the shower. Do you know that bit? No? And we didn't watch the rest of the film, we just watched that over and over and over again. We eventually had to stop because Alana's little brother Cameron was getting a bit bored. And then we'd stop watching it and just, you know, fantasise about one day having a Matt Damon look-alike washing our hair in that way. Because that was real love, you know? We'd go to our room, we'd get out our gel pens and our notebooks, and we'd write down our favourite quotes about being in love, and we'd copy out texts from our 3210s into our notepads, from boys that we fancied, and, you know, include all the kisses and the timings and analyse them. And during my spare time at home, I would Yahoo quotes about being in love and copy them down from the computer screen onto my pretty bits of paper, because Dad's printer was from like 1920s. And I would just obsess over these quotes, and they were obviously, if you Yahoo quotes about being in love, they're all from Anonymous. So it was all stuff like, when you're in love, your heart beats fast, you can't catch your breath, your mind's all of a tears, you can't think straight, you know, that kind of stuff. And I was 100% convinced that that was what I was after. That was the feeling. Heart beats fast, can't catch your breath, mind's all of a tears, you can't think straight, love. And then I found it when I was 18, and then again when I was 21, and then again when I was 23, and then I met Patrick when I was 25, and that's when I realised that Anonymous was talking twaddle. And then... So then I met Patrick, and I realised that proper love was the complete opposite of all of those things. So for example, when I'm on my way home from work and I've had a shocker of the day, which happens, and I can't get whatever's happened out of my head, and I'm feeling all of those symptoms of anxiety. And I get home and Patrick's there, or Patrick gets home and he takes one look at me and he knows what kind of a day I've had, and he'll say something like, "Oh no." Or he'll give me a hug, or he'll scratch my head, or he'll say, "Let's go out for tea." And we'll just talk all about it, and instantly, without realising it, he calms down my heart and he slows down my breathing. And he rests my mind and reassures me that none of that matters now. And all that matters is this: I'm home. And whenever he does that, thanks, Dad, it just reminds me of how he loves me so instinctively and so effortlessly. And that it's nothing, like, love isn't anything to worry about. It's just peaceful and calm and always. Oh, sorry, hang on, I've lost my train of thought. Okay, see, that's why I can't say thank you to anyone, I'm a mess. So sometimes when Patrick's had a few, too many, he'll say stuff like, "I love you more," or "You've no idea how much I love you," and obviously I'm loving it at the time. But really, he doesn't love me more, and I know exactly how much he loves me because I love him the same. And I think that's the most romantic thing you could ever say. It's the biggest compliment to say and feel like I love you the same. And so a little while ago, a lady from work, she said, "Oh, so what's your boyfriend like?" And I just said, "Oh, Patrick, he's you just have to meet him, really." So, and that was a bit of a cop-out. And since then I've been thinking about what I would say if someone were to ask me that again. So I've come up with something. I probably wouldn't actually say this. But I should say it because it's what I actually do think. But I know I'm very much alone in what I think. Okay, so just imagine someone says, "Oh, so what's your husband like?" I would say, "Oh, Patrick, he's really cool." Like, I genuinely really do think that. I do. I think he's the... I think he's the coolest thing. And I think it's because he's so refreshingly secure in who he is, and it just encourages everyone around him to be the same, including me. He completely 100% backs himself more than anyone I've ever met in my entire life. Like, we've been going out for maybe a week and he said that he could get any woman to fancy him. All he needs is time. And he's completely hoodwinked me. I honestly think he's the best looking man in my real life. And the funniest man in life. And I just think he's got like so many interests and passions, which makes him an interesting and passionate person. So if you take the table names today, they're all named after Patrick's favourite famous people. I was allowed like one or two, but mainly Patrick's favourite famous people. So you've got like John Keats. Can we get a whoop from the Keats table, please? Over there they are. And famous English poet. And then we've also got Stone Cold Steve Austin. There he is. Not a famous English poet, but then he's like, loves both of them equally, so he'll happily quote Keats at me of a Sunday afternoon, and then happily surprise me with a Stone Cold Stunner when I'm not expecting it, or a beer bash at a festival when it's appropriate. And he also has a way of changing my mind about stuff, so stuff I used to think was pretty lame, I'm now like super into, reading. I love reading. Like all those great British shows, super into that, like really like pottery. Wasn't bothered before. Shakespeare, watching Shakespeare plays, watching documentaries about Shakespeare plays, watching documentaries about Shakespeare, watching documentaries about Shakespeare's life, watching documentaries about Shakespeare's wife, it's sort of a deal breaker, Shakespeare. And one massive one for me is Michelin star restaurants. I mean, ask any member of my family. My favourite food is ham sandwich and chips. And you know, paying loads of money for food is just not a thing. And then I went to the Hand and Flowers with Patrick, Gus and Niall, and I had this chicken. And it tasted like warm hugs at bedtime. And I would have given that chicken like all of my money. I couldn't believe it. So completely changed my mind on that. Michelin star restaurants are really cool, guys. And also, again, I know I'm alone in this, but whenever we go to a party or an event or to a restaurant or to the pub or whatever, all right, Lily? I think that the people who are with Patrick are the ones that are having the best time. Because when you're with him, he is just so interested in you. Like, he finds you so interesting or funny or clever or scandalous. And it makes you feel like you are interesting or funny or clever or scandalous. So I know that today is our wedding day, and you know, classically on your wedding day you don't actually hang out with the person you just got married to. But I intend on having the very best day, so if you need me, I'll probably be with him. Which is where I intend to stay for all my days, really. So, can we raise our Shakespeares, please? And a toast to Patrick. Oh yeah, let's get those beers. I love you, and I like you. And may you always be my favourite person to hang out with. Cheers. And I know you all really want crisps. But up next we've got the very best men. We've got Niall Walker and Angus Sharp. So let's give it up.